part of something we can't even begin to understand.
That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters.
Every city, big or small, old or new, it's all around you. We are part of that system. We must wake up and wake others up. Come along down the rabbit hole, Alice.
And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent.
Question everything, friends.
They will fight to protect it.
We're
Holy shit, what's this? It's the world's largest spherical building, the MSG Sphere. It cost $2.3 billion and took 4 years to build. On July 4th, 2023, the exterior LED screens will be lit for the first time. A ball that has recently taken the world by storm, MSG Sphere Pavilion. This ball functions as an immersive theater. It can also be used to hold concerts, awards, ceremonies, and other types of events. The building is located in Las Vegas. It's 112 meters high, almost 30 floors. It's a super tall building. It can be seen from a distance in the city at night. The outer surface of the sphere is covered with about 1.2 million LED light sources. It can display extremely rich colors. You can feel the stunning effect through the screen. The interior of the building functions as a huge theater, equipped with a 16K resolution panoramic spherical LED. The display covers an area of 15,000 square meters, almost the size of 2 soccer fields. It is the largest and highest resolution LED in the world. The venue is also equipped with a 164,000 speaker sound system. In addition to video enjoyment, 10,000 of the 18,600 seats inside the stadium will be equipped with vibration feedback technology that will vibrate according to the content shown on the screens, that will generate different vibrations depending on what is being played on the screen. On September 29th, 2023, the MSG Sphere will officially open. U2 will be the first band to perform at the Sphere. Let's look forward to it.
This is very strange.
And curved top. As you can already see in the image above, there are 2 windows on either side of the building that resemble eyes. They are made of stained glass and sit about halfway through the building's length on either side. In the center of the eye shape, you begin to see a slit that could resemble a reptile eye. Maybe looking at one window on its own isn't the most clear, so let's have a look at both of them together now. All of a sudden, we begin to see things taking shape here. 2 reptilian eyes staring at you as you observe the stage. Have a look again at the image above. What do you notice down the center? There stands what looks to be a statue in the middle, and then on either side, 2 sharp, pointed fangs. The building's roof and sides also resemble scales. Here are two more images to give you a sense of the scales. Now let's pull it together a bit more so we can really see what we're looking at. In the image below, really pay attention to the whole building and stage layout next to the image of a snake. The eyes, the shape, the scales, the fangs, the look and feel of the reptile, it's all there. In the middle of the stage sits a statue of Christ rising from an atomic apocalypse. It was designed by Pericle Fazzini and put in place by 1977. Have a look at it below. Do you notice anything about Jesus' head? It's difficult to see from the front, but when you view the statue from the sides, where patrons would sit, it becomes strikingly clear from both sides that the head of Jesus is meant to look like that of a snake. Think about it for a moment. If just one side of the statue gave the impression of a snake's head, we could brush this off as coincidence. But when it looks this way from all angles, and the entire building resembles a snake as well, it becomes much more difficult to ignore. One must begin to realize that this was purposefully designed to appear this way. The thought and planning that went into this would have to have been immense. The reality is, there's an obvious reason for this imagery. You may be asking what that reason is. Why was this building built in such a way that the Pope appears to be speaking from the mouth of a reptile? I believe we're getting closer to the third stage when it comes to understanding who truly runs and has influence over our world, which is why this snake symbolism exists here.
I think this is the plan all along.
Cathodes, the ether energy. Antenna, amplifier, resonating moderator. You can see they had lamps. Let's enjoy together the beauty of ether-gathering technology of the whole world. Cathedrals are not what they want us to believe. Ether is a gift from God to mankind. Unlimited free safe energy in harmony with nature.
Activation. Connexion. Connexion. Activation.
Nothing new under the sun. Question everything then. Share the truth.
This is not a church. It was never a church. And if you give me 3 minutes, I'm going to absolutely turn your world upside down and blow your mind. You may have heard about a strange story going around that we were a part of an advanced civilization that fell apart due to some kind of invasion. And that incredible buildings like these, surrounded by all these smaller buildings, are actually part of two completely different worlds and times. If you're under the impression that structures like these can be built in our modern times, think again, because they can't, and they haven't been for hundreds of years. There are countless buildings like this scattered all over the world that we repurposed as banks, churches, universities, and state buildings. You'll also notice that a lot of these buildings have the word founded etched in the side instead of built. That's because we found them. We didn't make them. So let's talk about what these buildings were really used for before we repurposed them. It's becoming painfully obvious that our religions and our religious institutions do not serve us and in fact were built to control us. We're starting to realize that many of the stories we've been told about our religions have been twisted and corrupted to imprison our minds and our spirits. Well, it gets so much crazier and worse than that. Because these buildings were never churches. They were healing centers and amplification centers for our meditation and prayers to make our thoughts reality, word to flesh. The painted glass windows and all the geometric shapes were meant to amplify those frequencies outward and inward to heal us and create a protective force field around the building and around the empire. Going back to this picture, you see that circle right there? That's cymatics. Just go look up a video where they play sounds on sand and then the sand takes different shapes. It looks exactly the same as that. This architecture is a frozen masterpiece of music, which caused frequencies to emanate within and without to have all sorts of amazing and powerful effects. Yes, All the old stories of Atlantis and Tartaria are absolutely true, and you can see the evidence of it just by going to one of these churches. But it gets even crazier than that. Look at the domes here. Look at those little circular balls. These are conductors, okay? We don't have a cross or the moon and the star here, and there's a good reason why. I'm just going to put this ugly modern church in the background while we talk about this so this can really sink in for you. All of our religious symbols like crosses and moons and stars were actually just carefully crafted antennae. They were shaped that way to pull energy into the building. And now just think about how you have defined your entire life based on these symbols. Defended them, fought other people over them, thought you were worshiping a god through that symbol. They are laughing in our face. And guess what? It gets even crazier in part 2 when we talk about the Orgone generator.
The government hiding an entire civilization from us? The Tartarians were said to be a civilization that unlocked the key to free energy, allowing the Tartarians to advance exponentially as citizens were allowed to express their creativity freely without the stress of work, leading to many great inventions and grand architecture. However, a powerful organization that controlled the world through the sale of energy had already invested heavily into energy production and lobbied against the Tartarians, as free energy will essentially take away all the control that they had. This organization tore the Tartarian Empire apart and erased them from our history books, making it seem like the Tartarians never existed. But if you look carefully, the evidence of the Tartarians is still there in old maps, in architecture around the world that seem to advanced, places like the Taj Mahal, the Great Wall of China, or even the pyramids in Egypt looked way too advanced to have been built by their respective nations. But collectively, all have similar themes in their design, similar themes aimed at harvesting energy.
They told us mercury is toxic. I think they mean toxic for the energy companies profiting billions every year. Keep watching to see how civilizations before us got their energy for free.
Buildings from the old world, the sacred buildings, they used to have these brass balls and they loaded them up with mercury and they put them real high up so that they could gather atmospheric energy, which is free energy. The higher you go up, the more energy that's up there, and they would run, for example, a copper wire down into their home and they could use that if they wanted free energy or to light their light bulbs or whatever things that they had in the home.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and follow for more content like this.
Just so you can kind of see that. Look at that detail. Look at the archways. Look at the detail on the inside. There's even horses up here. And check this. Angels right here. Lots of angels in 1893 in all of these buildings. Lots and lots of angels. Now what's interesting is on the top of it here, it says, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make ye free." Well, interesting, because social media always censors the truth, so it doesn't sound like they're going much for us being free. So this is the first page. This is just the introduction of what I'm about to show you today. So then we go to another page and we move forward and we see more angels on a ship. You guys see all that? So this was all built, just overnight, kind of. That's what they kind of told us. They prepared the people. Then we have what looks like almost like the Colosseum, and this statue is made out of gold. This statue was moved. It's still partially located in Chicago, but they did move it. But look at those arches. This is remarkable. I mean, we can barely build a square box nowadays, and this is what they were building in 1893. Just look at the detail. Look at that. And then you also have angels on top. And then you got horses on top as well, too. Now, I have 3 books, so we're going to go through pictures and pictures. Yes, plaster, they tell us. That's what people are commenting below. This was all plaster. Plaster.